For my first video blog, I'm going to talk about how I made this map of the world showing countries and how I got them to highlight, and you can click on each one and get various information from them. Okay? For instance, there, see I have the object right there and how I got this information here. All right. Hi everyone. For my first video blog, I'm going to talk about how I created this interactive map of the world. Uh, okay. Hi everybody. For my first vlog, I'm going to talk about how I created this interactive map of the world that's clickable, highlightable, and clickable. And I made it with Mapbox Gl, so we'll be talking about that today. All right. So let's get started. So when I was making this map, let's think about this project. It's going to be making currencies, showing currencies from all over the world to be a clickable map. For instance, you'll be able to click on Canada and get the price of the Canadian dollar on it, and some other information in a sidebar over here that's coming up soon. But I started off making a COVID map, and what I quickly realized was that, at least during the time I was making it, a lot of the free COVID APIs were sort of not tracking any more data, I guess, because at the time the Delta variant hadn't come through. So I decided to create a currency map. And so the first thing I did was I started with a product called Leaflet, which is a free library that you can use within React and JavaScript and a lot of other things. But one of the things I found out with it was you could always scroll right off the map, which isn't the end of the world, but it kind of drove me nuts a little bit. So in searching, I found Mapbox Gl, which is a library that you can use with React. Mapbox Gl JS is a JavaScript library with the same thing, and they make some wonderful looking maps. Okay, so let's look at them right now. So you'll go to mapbox.com to get started with them. Set up an account with them. Okay, and you'll notice here you'll get your API tokens. Of course, I got them blurred out here. All right, and just to let you know, this is a free account. I like to show people that I'm not paying anything for them. It is a free account. Okay. But to create your first map, you'll go to Studio. Okay, and it's a wonderful way to really easy visual way just create your maps. And I'll show it to you for a little bit. So when you go to your studio, you'll get a list of maps you've made, and these are various maps I've made. And okay, and for instance, there's one I just made a few minutes ago. Um, and you just want to start. You can upload your own style, but I like to create my own new one. They'll give you these templates you can start with. You have your basics, your navigation maps. Notice the colors change, and then larger interstate numbers and things of that nature. Outdoor maps with topography, lines, all even satellite maps. All of these can be put into each other. For instance, you could have a satellite map with topography showing hills and mountains and valleys. Um, Everything in here is very customizable. Okay, I like to start with the basic. Once you do that, you'll get basic color palettes. All of these can be changed any way you want them to be. It's a nice dark galaxy map. Let's start with that. Okay. All right. So when you start your first studio map, basic, this is what you'll get. You get a picture of Paris. You'll see all the roads, various points of interest. Okay. And you can scroll way on in there, showing even footpaths within some of the parks. Okay. Very detailed. Restaurants there. Um, Incredibly detailed map. But for this, I'm just showing countries, so I don't need a lot of this. Okay. Now if I scroll out, one of the things you'll notice is that it repeats itself. One of the other things you'll notice is you cannot scroll out of the map, which is a great feeling. Okay. All right. So one of the real easy ways to do it is, you'll see over here you have your components. These are your basic things you'll need that uh, that you'll be showing in your map. Now, with this just being a country map, I really don't need buildings. Okay. Now I can click to not show them to have them, but I don't need them, so I'll just get rid of them. Other things here. This being a country map, I'll go to administrative boundaries. I don't need the states, so I'll get rid of those. Okay. Place labels. Don't need to get rid of states there. Get rid of settlements. So now, all I have are unadulterated country labels and borders. Okay. Don't need any points of interest because you'll see that those are still there. So we'll get rid of those. Again, country map, we don't need, see, still got roads. Get rid of that. Each of these are layers. That's the way they think about them. It's a good way to think about them. That, and that. And let's see here. So the land is kind of dark, right? Let's change that up a little bit. Okay, maybe we can change it up to a nice brighter looking something. I don't know, I'm just randomly picking colors at this point. Okay. Maybe we want, go to natural features. Okay. Our water needs to look more like water. Make it a little darker than that. There we go. That looks great, but you'll see the place labels. or in white. That's just not going to do it. Okay. So let's make these sort of a darker green, maybe. There we go. I like that color green. Why not? Doesn't have to be pretty. This is just for demonstration purposes. If I scroll over here, you can see it has changed, but there's that white halo. This is where layers comes in. So I'll go to place labels, and I'll look at my country labels. Okay, you'll see the halo color here. All right, that white is a halo. I typically like to just get rid of it. So I'll just change it. I'll just take the halo width, take it to 0. Now it is to that. And we'll override that. Back here, we've got our colors. We can change that. So now everything's changed. If we want to change our border colors, we could do that in here. Okay. So again, kept our ocean labels, we've kept our country labels. And when you get over here, you'll see that these borders are considered uncontested borders. And then when you get over here to Kashmir, these dashed lines are the contested borders within Kashmir. Okay, you'll see that all over the map. Anywhere there's a contested border, you'll get a dashed line, and now you can get rid of those borders, but once you do, for instance over here, it will just leave it blank, and so you will have a blank. There'll be no real border between, say, Pakistan and China. Okay, which is not going to help you in this case. Now we're missing one important layer with this, because right now we have all the labels, we have all of the names. Looks okay for what you're using, for what I'm doing. Okay, so you got your countries, but we're missing something important, because I'm attaching this using an API, currency API, and this API and the map need to have something in common so we can find something, so we can get the right data to each country. So for that, we're going to add a layer. Okay, we'll go over here and we will add country boundaries. It is a great layer here. So now when I click on a country, okay, I get a feature. Okay, that's what they call a feature. Has an ID. You can change color of that particular country, but more importantly, you get these ISO 3136 and the Alpha 3, which is a country code. Each country has one. You can distinguish between each country. You'll notice you also have names in the name in different languages. So depending on where you're going, you can have you can give the country name in the language that somebody wants it. Okay. All of these are in the features of this layer. Now, by doing this, I'm going to show you something else. So let's go back to the map, and now we've got a problem because all of our countries have disappeared. It's nothing but black. The reason for this is country boundaries is on the top layer. Okay, so it's hiding everything up underneath it. Now, if you move it to the bottom, you still got your country layers, but now you can see now you can see everything on your map. If I put it between here, now I can still see my administrative boundaries, which means my country boundaries and my place labels. Okay, but it doesn't know whether it's land, water, or sky because that's all covered up. Okay, so I usually just put it right there at the bottom. That way, all the visual features of the map I can have, but I still have those country boundaries. When you finish with that, okay, you'll go over here to publish. Okay. Now this is what you started out with, and this is what is what you've just made. Okay. We'll say publish new. We'll view in the editor. So there is our map. You can add fonts, add images, change light, so many different things here. But that's not very important for what we're doing. So here, this is the map we made, basic copy. All right. And if you go here, click this box, you'll see the style URL. Now this URL is associated with this particular map. You can delete it, you can change it, make public, whatever. Okay, but the biggest thing is you need to know that about this URL. Okay, now let's talk about how we would put this into our map. Okay, you'll notice this is what I'm running on my current app. Okay, so let's go to the code. So when you start with Mapbox, you're going to want to install Mapbox Gl, npm Mapbox-gl. Okay, add that with Yarn or Node Packet Manager. Okay. Then import Mapbox Gl from Mapbox-gl. All right. Very important here. Your API key that we got when you register, you'll want to save it as the Mapbox-gl.access token. Now here I've put it into an environment file. Okay, so I could hide it. But you could put it straight into here. But you need to have the Mapbox-gl.access token written right there, because this is how Mapbox is going to look for your API key. All right. I started a basic function here. Gave it some basic information, longitude and latitude. This is where I want the map to start when it immediately shows on the page. Okay. The zoom is the zoom that I want it to, the zoom level I want it to start on when it opens the page, and the max zoom is how far I need it to go in. This is something, all of these things can be changed all the time. 10 is not the highest it goes, but it's the highest I need to find really tiny countries, such as the Vatican and Monaco, for example. And so I just set those there. And I use a use effect hook to open it, to get the data and open it up when the page is loaded. And so I start out with a map.current, new Mapbox gl.map, okay, give it the container, okay, map.current, okay, and then I give it the style. The style is the URL of the map that we created, that I showed you. I've created. Added the center option to it. We're using the longitude and latitude there. Added the starting zoom level, which is zoom, okay. created this shows you how far back, because I don't want to go all the way back on the map and I don't want to go all the way forward. So I'll start it off with the widest zoom level and make it only go in as far as the max zoom is. Okay. Then I'll create a variable called hovered country ID. Okay. And once it style loads, okay, I want to add a layer, country fills. Okay, and here's that country boundaries that I'm using. Source layer, country boundaries. Okay, got fill color, fill opacity. Using a Boolean feature state. This feature state is that information that that I showed you when we looked at the layers with all the country information. And I'm doing it on hover. Okay. And then as you move the mouse, okay, you will go to query the rendered features in the country's boundaries. Okay. And if it's more than 0, you will set the feature state and get the country boundary and the ID of the hovered country ID. Now, I'm going to bring this over. So you can see right now, when you click on a country, this is what you'll get. Okay? You'll get the alpha code. You'll get its name. Okay? This alpha 3 code is what I'm using to meet up with things. I'm creating the US dollar. Okay. Now if I do this on mouse leave, this is just highlighting the country. Okay, so when you come over, it's actually just going to create the ID of true, hover the true, and then it's going to change the color so it highlights it. On click though, we're going to go and we're going to find that country boundaries data. Okay, and we're going to go to features. In fact, let me do this so I can show you what those look like. Okay. Now, when I go to a country, I'll go to Brazil. I'll show you clicked on Brazil. Now this is the features. Well, if I go to a country, for instance, Mexico, once you click on a country, it's going to query the country boundaries layer that we added. All right. And I'm going to show you the information it gives you. It's really interesting. So for instance, I clicked on Spain. Okay. Clear that out. I'll click on Spain here. You'll get a object like this. Okay. You'll see layer, its source. There's the country. Then you'll go to properties. And there's that all of, is it disputed? No. Is it, there's your alpha 3 code. There's your name in Spanish and then name in English. Gives you the continent, the subregion of the continent, Wikidata, whole lot of information. Okay. Now, if we go to Pakistan, get rid of that. Here's Pakistan. It says disputed faults. Okay. It gives my state that I hovered over it. All right. Gives the same information. See, now here you go. Here's Pakistan in its language. It's in Asia. It's in Southern Asia. Okay. Now, if I zoom in here, and I'll click on one of the disputed regions. Now we are getting into the disputed regions. Pakistan administered Kashmir. Disputed true. Okay. One of the things you'll notice about this, and I really do like this. Let me get this back up. For instance, you click on Pakistan, and this comes up. Okay, but when you just click the disputed part, only the disputed part comes up. Now, if you didn't have the disputed boundaries, there would be no boundary over here. Okay. So here's India's portion, and this is the same area, but now India has it. One of the interesting things I noticed was when you click on China, you'll notice Taiwan is colored in a lighter green. That's because China and Taiwan have issues with each other, and China thinks that Taiwan is part of mainland China. Taiwan thinks that mainland China is part of Taiwan, to be honest. So when you click on China, you get China. But when you click on Taiwan, you get Taiwan. Because they are two different countries for all related purposes. So here is Taiwan. Okay. And here's China. Okay, so they are two different areas, but they are considered the same if you click on China. Okay. Kind of interesting there. Really like how they've done that. Going back to my code, you'll notice that I am I'm taking that data and I'm going, every time you click, I'm getting the alpha 3 code from the country boundaries layer, and I'm matching that with the API, with some data I have over here, my custom data over here. I have each of these countries, every country, allowing me to sort of combine the data from the API and the map together and creating a new object there. Okay. Mapbox has got a lot of great things, and this is just one of the things I'm showing. I know that a lot of tutorials don't show the new way of Mapbox, that new way Mapbox is set up, because I think it's happened really fairly recently. And on top of that, they don't usually show things on a wider scale like the countries. A lot of things they show are more detail oriented, streets and navigation and things of that nature. And to be honest, the tutorials and things like that from Mapbox are great. They just don't always show the specific thing you're looking for. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.